CBS News Miami.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us. I'm Naja Sherman, and welcome to CBS News Miami's 4 p.m. Quickcast. Let's take a look at today's top stories. Off the top, a break in the case. Police arrested a man accused of murder on Miami Beach. The suspect is now charged with second-degree murder. CBS News Miami's Peter Dench reports from Coral Gables, where he spoke with the victim's stepfather.
The victim's mother and stepfather told us that the victim had been struggling with mental health issues for more than 15 years and lately had been homeless. A new police report says the victim, seen in this photograph, 37-year-old Andrea Dospassos, was beaten brutally with a metal pipe while sleeping in front of the Miami City Ballet building early Tuesday morning. 53-year-old Gregory Fitzgerald Gibert is charged with second-degree murder. The victim's stepfather told me he is horrified. He had raised Dospassos since she was 10 years old. He got a metal pipe and he stood over her while she was sleeping.
She had no
beat her.
No chance to defend herself, no chance to whatsoever. I don't know yet if this is a result of a hate crime because he's transgender, or the fact that she had already another interaction with this person. I don't know if the other person isn't homeless as well. My wife, it is devastating for her. What I said, it is a nightmare what became reality.
Victor Van Gils told me that his stepdaughter had lived in a number of places, including California, and had attended Miami Beach Senior High School. He said the detective in this case could not tell him if his stepdaughter was targeted because she was transgender. Coming up at 5 in just 1 hour, we'll have much more of that interview with his stepfather. In Coral Gables, Peter Dench, CBS News Miami.
Always alerting, always tracking. This is Next Weather.
And taking a live look outside, it is a gorgeous day across South Florida. And the good news, this good weather is going to stick around for a bit. Next weather meteorologist Cindy Pressler breaks it all down.
Just the best weather that you can even imagine right now, and we're going to see this at least for a while yet. Right now it's 79 degrees, but the high so far today was 80. And we've had winds out of the east, a little bit gusty now, up to 20 miles per hour. But I want you to look at something here, the dew point. 59 degrees. When you have a dew point in the 50s, that is bone dry air. So let's hang on to that. Dry and stable. Temperatures remaining below average or below normal for this time of the year. We should be at 85 degrees. And remember, our high today was so far 80 degrees. Breezy to windy this weekend. So there's the change. Even though it has been breezy, we're going to turn it up a notch and make windy conditions by Saturday. So this is the reason why. High pressure, very strong. Sitting out here in the Atlantic, it extends all the way across the state of Florida and out into the Gulf of Mexico. So that ridge of high pressure just doesn't want to move. We have dry air aloft, dry air in the mid-levels. All this orange and brown you see here, this is very dry air. So as long as that's sitting here, we're really not going to see any kind of chance for any rain. Now our humidity levels might go up just slightly as comfy Thursday, Friday gets up a little bit higher on Saturday and Sunday, and then Monday it kind of peaks over into that humid category. But overall, this is a very nice pattern, and I don't see a lot of change here. Look at these temperatures. Tomorrow's high a little warmer, 83 degrees, but then we're going to sit at 82, 81 all the way through the weekend and into next week. So there's no big heat waves out there, no big systems getting in here, no fronts that we can speak of, but it's the wind. That's going to be our big story as we get into the weekend. Tomorrow we'll see some gusts out of the east-northeast, 20 to 25 miles per hour. Same thing again on Friday, but Saturday we could see some gusts as high as 30 miles per hour because this high pressure ridge is so strong, it's going to sit over here. We'll set up a tight pressure gradient, and that's going to funnel in some very strong winds on Saturday. But overall, still a beautiful weekend is on tap. Check it out. Temperatures again in the lower 80s. Breezy conditions kick in, and that's going to continue next week as well.
A former Miramar police officer is banned from wearing a badge. He pleaded guilty to a first-degree felony. The plea agreement was reached after the officer was accused of having a sexual relationship with a minor last year. CBS News Miami's Anna McAllister has been following the case and joins us from criminal court in Miami.
30-year-old Jose Hernandez was arrested last year accused of having sex with a 17-year-old girl that he met on Tinder who stated that she was 23 years old. He initially was charged with unlawful sexual activity with a minor and contributing to the delinquency of a minor, but today he pled guilty to another charge. In a plea agreement, Hernandez pled guilty to aggravated child abuse, a first-degree felony. Hernandez was sentenced to 10 years of reporting probation and must surrender all his criminal justice certifications. According to the state attorney's office, Hernandez must also complete a mentally disordered sexual offender treatment program. And if for any reason he's terminated from this program, he'll be brought before a court for violating probation. Hernandez will not have to register as a sex offender, and he will not serve any jail time. And when we asked him what he had to say after court, he said no comment. For now, reporting from criminal court in Miami, Anna McAllister, CBS News, Miami.
Now at 4, the case of the man accused of being a drug mule for Sean Diddy Combs was back in court this morning. Brendan Paul did not appear before the judge himself, but his attorneys were at the hearing. They pleaded not guilty on his behalf. The 25-year-old faces felony charges for possession of cocaine and marijuana candy. He was arrested at Opa-locka Executive Airport. It was shortly after federal agents raided Diddy's mansions in Miami and L.A. 2 people killed 2 others in the hospital after a crash in Hialeah. Investigators say a car smashed into a parked car. CBS News Miami's Yvonne Taylor joins us from the scene in Hialeah.
This is the vehicle that was parked in the corner of Southeast 5th Avenue and 4th Street, and what you're looking at is the result of another car that crashed against it. We were told that the owner of this vehicle lives in the house, but that person is not available at the moment. However, police are saying that the other car crashed against this fence and went through it. That's where the 2 fatal victims were on board. Identities of any of the victims have not been released yet. Neighbors are saying this is not the first time accidents happen here, but not with 2 people dead.
Terrible, terrible, terrible.
Terrible, simply terrible that this happened in our neighborhood, told CBS News Miami Janelis Huerta. She was home Tuesday night and recalls hearing a thunderous sound, not knowing the extent of the tragedy. Huerta says drivers don't stop fully at the intersection, and she says accidents happen frequently, but not as drastic as the one on Tuesday night. At this moment, speed is being analyzed as a possible cause of the accidents because police have not ruled out anything. Coming up at 5 p.m., what investigators are saying, plus surveillance video that we obtained from the neighbors. We are in Hialeah. I'm Yvonne Taylor, CBS News, Miami.
New details in the case of a Homestead woman kidnapped and killed in Central Florida. A second person has been arrested. The Seminole County Sheriff's Office says Giovanni Hernandez turned himself in on Monday. He's facing drug charges. Deputies say he was the last person to speak with the victim, Catherine Guerrero de Aguas Vivas. Another person of interest remains in custody. Detectives believe they were able to link him to the carjacking through his Facebook profile picture. And another turn of events, the sheriff also announced that the victim's husband is no longer cooperating with investigators. When we come back, school lunches are taking a healthier turn. The new standards just released and how soon students can benefit from the changes. Welcome back to CBS News Miami's 4 p.m. Quickcast. Columbia University has extended its deadline for student protesters to clear out. This as more protests against the Israel-Hamas war are taking place on campuses nationwide. CBS News Miami's Naomi Rokem reports.
All right, let's do it! Student demonstrators on Columbia University's campus facing a midnight deadline to clear their encampment dug into their positions. Overnight, the university said some protesters did pack up, and it's extending the deadline to continue talking with student protest leaders. Campuses across the country are trying to balance free speech with safety concerns from Jewish students. The demonstrators are angry over Israel's months-long bombardment of Gaza. Their demands mirror a growing number of campus protests, from Massachusetts to California, Minnesota to Texas.
Number 1, call for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza. Number 2, to disclose all financial investments in Zionist organizations. Number 3, to divest from those organizations.
But those who study divestment say calls to financially disentangle colleges from Israel have gone nowhere for decades.
No campus has decided to divest from from investments in Israel or companies that do business with Israel. This is a political debate where people have strongly divergent views.
In New York City, protests are taking place beyond college campuses. Police arrested more than 200 demonstrators Tuesday night, blocking traffic near the home of Senator Chuck Schumer. They projected the message, "Stop arming Israel," onto the Brooklyn Public Library. The protest, organized by the left-wing advocacy group Jewish Voice for Peace, took place on the second night of Passover. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News, New York.
School meal programs are now headed in a healthier direction. The U.S. Department of Agriculture announced new meal standards. They will limit added sugar and sodium. The changes roll out in phases over the next few years. Certain products like breakfast cereals, yogurt, and flavored milk will also have limits on added sugars. More space to bike, walk, and just get outside and enjoy Miami. A new 2-mile stretch of Underline is officially open. CBS News Miami's Terry Hornstein takes us there.
Watching here on the Underline. On a gorgeous Wednesday morning, as runners and bikers passed by,
2, 1, cut!
a ribbon cutting for phase 2 of the Underline project.
I use the Underline all the time. I use the Metro Rail all the time. I've lived here now 15 plus years. I like being able to have the option to bike to the Metro Rail or bike portions of the Underline to be able to get to work.
Mickey Witt works at both University of Miami campuses and says she's been using the path underneath the Metro Rail to ride her bike for years, even before it was transformed into the Underline.
It's amazing. It's night and day from what it was.
From what it was before to the Underline. Exciting for Mickey, who says she feels safe to ride her bike with new lighting and Wi-Fi.
10 years in the making, and we are opening an additional 2 miles of the Underline.
Phase 2 of the project links Brickell to the Grove, the Rose, Shenandoah, and Silver Bluff with a well-manicured bike and running path.
We take the Underline to 17th Avenue and then go across and then take the side road and then take Tiger Tail. This is fabulous.
For these bikers, getting outside and making the commute healthy and enjoyable, what the Underline is all about.
You've got someone has thought it through to make it beautiful and pleasant.
It's fantastic, and we're only going to see more people using it and less cars adjacent to us on either US 1 or any of those side streets.
So the next step, phase 3 of the project, it will continue south to the Dadeland South Metro Rail Station and is expected to be completed in the year 2026. The cost for the project estimated to be $140 million. In Miami, Terry Hornstein, CBS News, Miami.
That's the CBS News Miami Quickcast. I'm Naja Sherman. Stay tuned for more news right here on CBS News Miami and have a fantastic day.